We have cameras up across the road.
Has Frost brought up anything about the announcement by any chance?
No, he hasn't spoken to me at all.
So in
Is
true
there issues?
Yeah, in very like true PD fashion, people were like, "Oh no, like what are we gonna do? Dooming, dooming, dooming," and there were some like murmurings in the BCSO
Okay.
meeting, the day of. I didn't really go too much into it, because I'm like, listen, if it's the problem, they'll bring it up. But then today, Maeve brought up some concerns, and then Jenna did as well, and apparently others have concerns too. Now, I have
Okay.
thwarted it to the best of my ability for the time being. Specifically, I think okay, so I want to be very like particular here. I am taking Maeve's concerns with consideration, and she's
Okay.
usually pretty good. I think it's just I think we need to expand on the definition or the meaning of it, because I think some people,
Okay.
for better or worse, are reading it as Leos must clearly state that they're reading Leos must clearly state that they observed a suspect, as if that's a like requirement, as opposed to that being like a list of things that should be added. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So there's a mix of bad faith reading and dooming, and some of that is, I think, clouding the judgment of others when they're reading this. I brought it up to Frost. I brought it up with Stevie. We talked about it a little bit. Given that Jenna is an LT and she brought up the concern, the advice was that Jenna go and expand on this for clarity and put it forward for us to sign off on. Um, so,
Okay.
uh,
I would like to see that because I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen anything from Jenna yet.
that was brought up
I
to her, I
I
think,
don't
just a couple
have.
hours ago.
I haven't had. I mean, I spoke to Stevie before the meeting on Monday
Mhm,
because Frost was not on duty.
mhm.
And I said, listen, I had a discussion with Frost. I've worded this to the best of my ability. I said the overarching, thought from all of these is get off your ass and actually do police work.
Agreed.
That's really our Frost and I spoke. That is our goal. And we went and looked at some reports where people are pulling a dispatch from 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour ago,
Mm.
and they're going there and just getting the evidence
Trust me when I
without
say
saying,
I am
yeah.
1000% on board. I hate it. Charged with criminal use, hate it. Lazy reported, hate it. It's not police work. It's like janitorial work with a badge. It
So,
has.
and maybe I didn't word it as well as everyone wanted, but the idea is that you must be connected in some way in your statements rather than I went to this call, I got casings, charged them with criminal use.
Yep. I'm with you 100%. I would even say I'm going to go as far as saying this to me is clear as day. But how do I put this? It's sometimes very hard to discern between doomers and legitimate concerns, and I personally think makes perfect sense. I think the idea of Jenna even going and expanding on this is more of a consequence of like, if people really are having a tough time with simple shit like this, well, at least that might curtail it, because then there is no excuse. Like, oh, I thought people are going around saying like, oh man, do we need to find them in the act now? I'm like, how do you read this and think that? But
No, there's a list. Just must be one way. I mean, how many times have we been up in Vinewood Hills investigating something? We hear
yeah,
gunshots and we race over there, but they've gone. Well, we heard it. We heard a crime, right? We heard class two fire. That
mm-hmm.
there's my connection. I'm in the area. That's all we're asking is some of these statements were terrible. And some of these reports have no statements in them, whatever, and people are still charging criminal use.
You are 100% right. I mean, hell, the murder at I always like to use the someone put criminal use for a murder over at Purple Dinosaur till I popped the report open. I'm like, that was a murder, not criminal use. The murder at the docks, that was murder, not criminal use. Like, we can't just close our eyes and be like, ooh, casing, that's it.
Right. And yeah.
So
I haven't heard anything back from LSPD. I did ask, but I was there to explain things.
Yeah.
So maybe it came across a little bit different than at BCSO.
Yeah, I think I think that played a big part of it. I did expand on it this morning after Maeve brought up the concern. And then Jen brought it up afterwards, even after I made it clear. So it's that's why I'm like, listen, you're bringing this up and it's not obvious to you, so go, expand on it, and high command will look at it. You're LT. So
yeah, it's not a problem.
Yep.
I think people get offended when it's their baby.
I know exactly what you're saying. Trust me. Look, some of the worst offenders, may have too many stripes right now. I don't know. So here's I want to get to the juicy stuff because, okay. All right. Yesterday I received a book after receiving a ping that I made it a high command report. Given the fact that the investigative report tag probably needs to be reviewed. There's people that literally those things were handed out just without. I don't know who has it. I don't think anyone knows who has it. And there might be people that should not have the tag. As a consequence of that, I'm leaving it. I left a note at the top of it. It's been recorded. In it is the TLDR is looking to Babylon, etc., etc. I received a second one today. In it, it goes into further detail. The photos and the book. The book is currently in evidence. Feel free to take a look at it. But it presents a allegation that Speedy is crafting muskets, revolvers, and pistols over at some bench overlooking the lakeside. I
haven't seen Speedy in months.
Yep, I actually just saw him today. So prior to having received this, now I've been trying to make contact with him for a minute. And most of this was an outcome of we had law enforcement going in there and rifling through things while they're sleeping. We've also had other criminals rifling through their things while they're sleeping. And this was like a month ago. And one of the first things Frost and I had to do is put a stop to it the moment we saw the reports. Like, you can't just start going and just fucking something is new and shiny and just oddly, like, just sus for the sake of it being new and start. That's not investigating. That's some bullshit. So we'll put our foot down. People slowed their roll. But in conjunction to this, we've been trying to reach out and get a sense of like what their purpose is, right? So we know what we're dealing with. Over the last 3 weeks, they've sort of presented themselves as pacifists. Quite truthfully, they've even personally helped me out when I was grossly injured. Apparently, Eliza donated her blood. Prior to that, Alfonso Sebastian, though not intentionally, Undersheriff stole his blood, or I don't know. There's a whole thing.
Oh.
So, okay. I then, when the musket started popping up and we started tying it back to Babylon, I was trying to get a sense of like, are they getting a hold of these to hunt, right? Which I think is pretty reasonable to think. But before I could get an answer to that, we had that situation about a couple days ago with Speedy Luciano and Clark Mason, where they held up a county clerk, turned out into a shootout, apparently, and led to a interrogation. Where I'm going with this is...
Good Lord, I didn't know about that. First of all, can I clarify, the musket is not the hunting rifle that you need a permit for?
No, it's either a musket or a Mosin. It kind of looks... I'm pretty sure it's a musket, but it fires like a Mosin. So you do load it up with like a steel rod. We actually managed to get a hold of one about 2.5 weeks back when Paulie Babylonian, ex-Fudge Lane.
I know Paulie.
Yeah, he pulled one in front of me and Frost. Instead of allowing us to look at it and de-escalate, it turned into a multi-sand dune vehicle chase, after which Paulie dumped it in the water, and the next day I went go look for it, and a bunch of us ended up finding it. That came back to a scene over at Grapeseed, where we documented, myself, Frost, and Crane, about 3 weeks back, a series of shell casings which looked like a test firing of 16 long barrel rifles. That gun came back to that. Separate incident where Hassan thought we were so like horny, quote unquote, for a musket that he threw it at Frost. And as for the arrest at last week down in the city, one of their guns came back to that same shoot. So where this all led is, I'm over here trying to figure out, like, what's their purpose? How are we going to handle them? Are we going to deal with them individually? Are they organization? You know, what is it, right? Because if we got to chase a warrant down, it's better to have an understanding with them rather than, you know, raid the compound for a person. I spoke to Lang today. And this is like, I'm telling you this, no one else knows outside of Maeve, at least at this time, because it just happened about 4 hours ago. And I brought up to Lang, I need to speak to somebody to understand what the hell's going on. And he was rather transparent. I will have a report tomorrow with details, but I'd rather you know this today, just in case some shit goes down. They've been attacked by the Faceless about a week and a half ago. I told them, what the hell's going on with that? You got muskets? Is it for hunting? Are you guys pacifists? Is it fucking bullshit? Why the fuck would the Faceless be attacking you? And if anything, y'all should, and they were sus, he was sus at first. But I was straight up. I was like, listen, you guys are getting fucking, we're dealing with fucking all kinds of terrorists and shit like that. And damn, even the fucking marshals. And you got fucking helicopters crashing down and fucking blowing your shit up. Like, you're not exactly on my priority list. But you might know some shit that mutually benefits us, right? He then told me that the Faceless attacked them because somebody joined New Babylon that was making millions of dollars, and I'm paraphrasing, made millions of dollars with the Faceless, and then cut ties, and threw away something like in the process.
Okay, that's interesting.
He didn't say who, but now comes this book that I just received in which it states Speedy is manufacturing guns over there, and I saw Speedy in that passenger seat with the like bandage coverings all over his face. And lo and behold, about an hour and a half ago, we responded to another potential Faceless attack. So,
last night, in the middle of the night, it was absolutely pitch black. We had a security alarm, or something like that around Milton's mods. I called for a couple of officers. I was the closest. We very carefully inched in because, you know, that place has not been kind to officers. And we found 4 people dressed similarly, all in brown, going through Milton's mods.
That makes sense.
They were in the trash cans. They were picking up scraps. They even went inside. I could see there were like dirty boot prints, like dusty, dirty, you know, prints headed inside. As we're talking to them, working out what's going on, and I knew one of the people, CJ, you know, had a chat with her. As we're talking to them, you know, we get rolled up on by ADMC, you know, and so in the end, CJ said that they had permission from Shang to be there. and the ADMC could reach out to Shang, who was still at survival, and could check with him that they do have permission. So they seem to be on interesting terms. It was a little tense because obviously the other ADMCs had no idea what was going on. But we did leave, and the 4 people in their pickup truck, CJ was one of them, another lady, and 2 other guys, all stayed and talked with ADMC. I don't know what they were picking up.
I presume it's going to be car parts, as it's been indicated to me. I went to go visit over there, and I ran into CJ, and they got some like benches and stuff over there, and I think those are garages. Some say it's a hangar. It might be both, because there's also a boat dock over there. You know, we have multiple reports of them taking things. Like, they stole some stuff from Life Invader. Clark Mason tried to steal olives, and he stuffed it up his ass and tried to get away. Yeah. They're like scavenging, you know what I mean? So it sort of adds up. Transparently, I've been sort of playing it very like touch and go. Like, if you're that desperate for food that you're gonna stuff it up your ass, like, you know, like, I made him return it, and he kept it.
Oh.
You know, it's like, you know, it's kind of like a bunch of orphans in my mind, right? Like, you know, yeah, it's petty. Look, I'm going to use a little bit of discretion, just kind of do the right thing, let the owner know, right? You know, say you fucked up. Like, I think most people, like, understand that unless they want to press charges, but the concerning thing for me is, well, I will say that Lang told me today that if we need to execute warrants, I think as long as we're respectfully showing up and not just busting through the gate to get one out of like the 40 of them, right? It's like understandable, right?
There's 40?
Oh, there's a lot. I've been estimating about 40.
What the hell?
Yeah. There's quite a bit. And
did you know CJ wears shoes now?
She does. Yeah.
I'm disgusted. She started crying a little bit while I was talking to her.
She did have good things to say about you. So
that's good.
Yep.
Wow.
The thing is, though, Ruby, the book says that they're cannibalizing people. I don't know if it's true. I'm going to be honest. It reads and I do recommend you take a look at it, right? You might note some things that I couldn't. But in it states, so this person or group or whatever, they tried to contact me and McNulty. Yesterday it was, hey, we're going to meet you tomorrow. Today, instead of a person, it was just a part 2 of a book. And like I said, it names Speedy.
They're being watched.
Oh, that's fine. They do that.
Yeah, they're being watched, yeah.
It names Speedy as someone making guns. It further goes on to say that they are in there. That it's almost as if they're inside that compound. They're alleging that. And that they allege to have seen people eating others, and that everyone else just kind of lets it happen. My gut tells me I actually don't know if I believe it or not. But obviously it's got to get looked into. You know what I mean? So
interesting.
But here's my problem. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, so I know we've had some activity in this area in regard to like planes and helicopters and things. Are they related?
Oh, yeah. But that's the Faceless attacking them.
What did they do? What did these people do to make them so angry?
I think that one of them was selling, and this is coming from Lang, right? And there was, to be clear, he didn't just like say it right up front. I reminded him that I've been in his house more than he probably has, referencing like history, because he was sus about what I was getting at. But he did open up, and he told me that one of the individuals that they took in worked for the Faceless, made millions of dollars, gave it up and go get in there, and the Faceless are seeking revenge. The implication of which that individual used to like do jobs, maybe even push guns for him. I don't know. And I have very little reason to doubt what Lang said, because there is one thing, we have a lot of history, him and I. He was my CI during the whole.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he was my CI during the whole
checking it was locked.
sanguine situation. And he doesn't tend to just, he does snitch, for lack of a better word, if he knows, if he gets desperate. So McNulty and I have already discussed putting a list together of faceless people with a bunch of others and cross-examining that with who we know to be inside, with the hopes to at least lead us to a direction here. But
so how are they going to defend themselves with muskets?
By using us?
I guess by using us.
I think that's what they're trying. What are they going to do, right?
Right.
I mean, if they could have, this is a delicate thing, and this is why I'm fucked up. Let me show you something. Take a gander at this.
Take a look here.
I drew this up about an hour ago. So I sat back and I'm like, how the fuck are we supposed to unpack all this shit? Because, so the green lines are like alliance, red lines are like, enemies. The Faceless, the fire starters are working with the Faceless who are attacking the city, and then Faceless is also attacking New Babylon, but New Babylon is taking people in. There's one set of people that are writing books about how their friends are disappearing in there and want us to look into it. There's this mysterious person who's writing a separate book. There's, what I'm trying to point at here is that this is going to be an investigative nightmare.
Okay. I haven't heard from the fire starters in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
At least 2 weeks.
Could be dormant for now,
I mean, literally, Maeve and I we're about to wrap things up tomorrow, and we have to make a final decision. If we're charging them with terrorism, are we going straight to the docket?
Shit.
What are we doing with this? This is big.
What's your comfort level with it? Do you think you have enough?
We have
I think you do.
Individuals. We have 2 individuals that we want to charge. One has fingerprints all over Aaron's, right? Yeah, all over Aaron's stolen equipment on the same roof where Aaron was blown up. We have their vehicles on scene. We have license plate numbers. We have foreheads DNA and fingerprints on a gun that we believe was taken off the hostages on a deagle that's also on the same roof. And then Maeve is an absolute nerd. She has taken the time that these photos were taken of the individuals on the roofs of these 2 buildings, where you can clearly see them on the phone.
Oh my God, yes.
Match the same time as phone calls from forehead to Manx.
You know, I just want to throw this on the table, right? There is an option to go to the docket and scare them the fucking bejesus out of them that it's only going to get worse due to their other ties that we're looking into, and force them into a plea deal for reduced time, same charges, but they give up who it is.
That's it's because I don't want, because it's terrorism, I don't want to put out a warrant, right?
Yeah.
I have the hard evidence. This is a huge case. I believe it can go to the docket, and it will be up to them to defend themselves. But yes, if they're willing to speak, yeah, we have 9 days left. So tomorrow's the day we finally meet, and it's going from there.
Okay. Yeah, that's fucking amazing.
It's kind of scary, but yeah, we're gonna do it.
Hell yeah. I think that's really good. I mean, you hit plenty, you know. I know that those kind of things are I mean, look, my fucking best friend got blown the fuck up, and you know, I don't remember if you remember how that went, you know. But you know, new DOJ, hopefully they can understand that you need a fucking affirmative defense. I mean, DNA just doesn't magically show up on a PD fucking weapon.
It sure doesn't.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Not when your cars are on scenes. It's just not.
Yep. All right. Well,
there's too many circumstantial evidence and direct evidence.
Oh,
I don't know.
One more thing. I mentioned 2 authors. The first author of a book warning us of New Babylon may have been Tessa Lamb. She might know some things. But
that's interesting.
I can't say with certainty. It's just apparently there's photos. When you look at if you look at report number 29662, there is a book that was found on somebody or in New Babylon. There's the references in there. It looks to be someone who is concerned of what I believe to be their friends going in there. Could be the same author as the person giving me McNulty these sort of pointers. But there's a photo of what I've learned from McNulty to be Tessa's treehouse. And if you go real zoomed in on the note in there,
yes,
I think it's describing, I think it uses the word treehouse in there. And it's almost like maybe Tessa left a note saying, "Why are you taking my shit? I will hurt you." But it's a bit of I'm kind of speculating here based on what I see.
Yeah.
But anyways, I know I loaded a bunch right now, but it's a tough situation. It's all these things are kind of colliding, and it's making the water kind of murky, if I'm gonna be honest.
So it's crazy how everything intertwines.
Yeah.
I was told that the Smileys have one rule, and that is don't touch Tessa Lamb. I don't know how that is intertwined.
What the fuck? You know, before we know it, what if the Smileys start joining New Babylon, and then do you know about how Smileys fracture usually?
No, I don't have
Okay.
any past history with them at all.
Okay. I don't want to pollute the past with what you're finding. But it'll be, unless you want me to, it's up to you. um,
Well, I'm not investigating it. I'm not involved. I'm just
oh,
directing people.
okay. All right.
That's
Well,
all.
probably best they find out for themselves then. It's like, all right, well, shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I appreciate it, Ruby. Is
Just so you know, when I did speak to Rizal back in the beginning and agreed to do interim,
mm,
he told me not to hold back while I had this position and to do what I needed to do and to make the changes that need to be made. I believe there will be some changes coming to what we call our CID unit, detective
ooh,
unit,
hell yeah.
for the better. I'm not going to say that we're going to, implement everything you have,
Yep.
but I am not impressed when it comes to a situation or an investigation and we can't work together.
I
That
agree.
is against everything I believe in. So I'm just waiting for confirmation, but I believe we will be having some new people leading the detective unit.
That is that's good to hear. Rather transparently, my uh whatever works for both departments, I want to end up there cuz like you said, it's got to
Yes,
be collaborative. Um for me, it's I want to see collaboration, a way for high command to know what's happening at an executive level, and for um, everyone to feel like for the ground troops to know enough to be able to operate and know who to give the information to, but being open enough that if someone wants on a case, we should let them. No gatekeeping is what I'm trying to say, right? But
agreed. If
yeah,
someone has a piece of information, they're either going to give it over because they're not interested in
mm,
investigations, or you're going to pull them in and they're going to be an
602 radios.
absolute fire starter. Oh, wrong
yep,
words. But
yep,
yes.
yep. Hell yeah. All right. Well, shit.
Well, I've got 5 days left. So I'm going to do what I can.
I think Rizal would be a little crazy to pull you off, especially right now. That'd be, I don't know who's going to do a better job, quite frankly. So,
Well, it's open to everyone. Interviews start this week. I'll be putting out an announcement.
I think with all due respect, I think interviews started months ago. And if they weren't doing the work then they're not going to do the work tomorrow. So hopefully Rizal sees
True.
that.
Yeah. I have a lot of officers that, they compare him to Nino. And I pretty much say what you don't understand is that there was several people standing next to Nino for months upon months upon months,
Mm.
and you shouldn't discredit the work that they've done and that they're continuing to do.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
because they don't stand there with a coffee cup doesn't mean they're not doing the same or even better a job. Who knows?
Yep. I don't know too much about him, but when he tells me to jump, I do it. So,
Yeah.
um,
All right. Let's see where things go.
All right. Hell yeah.
I did speak to Miller today.
Oh, right. About that. How do you
Yeah.
feel about it in general?
Here's the issue for me. I don't know why he was fired. I opened the high command report like you can, and it's empty. There's nothing in there that tells me exactly why he was fired. I know why he was suspended, but I don't know why he
Oh,
was fired.
according to Peters 2 days ago. So Peters approached me on Cassidy Trail. And I was still drinking my coffee, and I'm not very good to talk to unless I'm fully awake. And Peters goes, "You won." And I'm like, "Won what?" And I don't now take what Peter said as a grain of salt, because Peter's I find him hard to read sometimes when it's like, this kind of stuff. But he told me that he wanted to become a deputy. I'm like, okay.
What?
Like I said, I don't know if it's a bit. I don't know if it's like in the moment thing. I genuinely don't know. And he's like, the war's over. I'm like, I don't think it is. Like, that situation that you're labeling as a war isn't over for me, right? Personally, like, I think it was just more of a call-in for things need to get better. In that conversation, I asked him, well, why did he get fired? Peter said it's because he lied to them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what specifically, but he said that was the line for them. So Maxwell should know.
No, she was not involved in the decision. I asked her straight to her face, and she said no. She knew everything about the suspension. She said she literally came on duty one day and said that Turner and Peters spoke to Miller, and they fired him.
That, and maybe Turner will tell you. I feel like he would. Maybe, hopefully.
Well, I know that Miller has been. I spoke to him yesterday. I spoke to him today. I mean, I'm not silly. He wants his job back, and so I was just straightforth with him. And I saw him the other day. He had a BCSO application in his hand. That's fine. But I pretty much said to him, listen, I have a $55.7 million law case right now on the docket with your name. And the optics of going to this court case with you being re-employed into LSPD is just not going to fly. I can't do it. I said, maybe down the road there's another option, but right now it can't happen. I was just honest and straight. I can't do it.
Yeah, I think that's well within reason. So I don't want to see him fail. I think that he was a scapegoat. I think that instead of it being a 1 week, he got turned into, I don't know how to put this, like, he was farmed as opposed to what could have been a 1 day, 2 day resolution, right?
Agreed.
And when that happens, because it happened to me a long time ago, right? Like, I wasn't that much. I was probably worse than Miller way back when. Where, in fact, I think the similar happened to Den, except it took like a while, 30 days, whatever. Where I'm going with this is, when I was approached with him. When I first approached him at the ICU bed, I was very much like, this is kind of shit. Including but not limited to what happened to him within the mechanic shop, right? And including what I believe, and hopefully I'm wrong here, I don't think it was just D overwatching. I want to be that guy that can say, okay, listen, I'm gonna fix you, right? You're gonna get trained right under my supervision. But today, I was brought into having a chat with him, with Jimbo and Stevie kind of overseeing it. I will say that for me, that kind of felt a little pressuring, just transparently. I don't think they meant wrong or anything like that, but I do want to talk to him again to make sure he's actually being truthful about wanting to be better, right? Because that, for me, is a very big sticking point.
I agree. Yeah, will he change? Will he learn? And I understand options are limited. It's BCSO and LSPD. That's all there is. But for me, and I know he just wants to be a police officer again. But is he going to take on the mantle of what BCSO is all about? Because I'll be honest, Knight, I see that slipping every day. I see more and more Blaine County officers patrolling the streets of LSPD rather than responding to something and then investigating things up in the north. I
Yeah.
see the same people over and over responding up north, and others are heading to a boost.
I
And
actually fully agree with you, and that's been a looming concern that I'm having more difficulty expressing, because if I'm going to be fully truthful, I feel like I hate. I want Blaine County should be about patrolling Blaine County and then backing up LSPD when you guys need it, right? And unfortunately, you're right. You're 100% right. Is that I think it's being looked at as greener pastures, and like instead of, and I'll tell you, I told this to King earlier today. I told him that you have a responsibility. You took on a role, and you can't just leave that. And I stand on that. I barely want to be in this position right now, but I accepted it, and I will not leave until there's someone that can at least take that on before I even consider, retirement or, whatever other options may be. And, but
why King?
has it not been brought to your attention that he's looking for a transfer?
Absolutely not.
Well,
I literally just spoke to him on Monday, and I have organized a meeting with him tomorrow.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
I'm literally about to come to him and listen, I'm not silly. I've done my homework over the last 5 days. I've spoken to many people, and a lot of them have said if there's anyone they're going to follow in shift 1,
it's not a Brian stir.
It's going to be King.
I'm not going to lie to Ruby.
And you're telling me he's putting in a transfer?
I was approached hour after tsunami, originally under the guise of, because I know he's been just thinking about it for a minute. And then today, an hour after tsunami, I was advised to have a chat with him. There was a lot of, there was some sort of animosity that was building up from him to myself. And I think a lot of it was telephone. So that was the bulk of that conversation. But the conversation further went into, his desires for leaving his lieutenant position, becoming a sergeant, and transferring to Blaine County Sheriff's Office for a change of pace. Now, I'm actually a bit surprised that this has not been brought up to you, because
not at all.
My understanding is that LSPD Shift 1 High Command knows about this. So, and if they don't, and this is one big secret, well, I apologize for being the first one to let you know, but that's something that should have been brought to your attention one way or another. So,
so is his goal because he just personally needs a change, or is his goal that he wants to be part of the vision of the Blaine County Sheriff's Office? This is the issue I have with people flip-flopping back and forth, or changing departments just because they can't fix the issues that they may be having right now.
If you want me to be fully truthful, in terms of what I'm thinking, I think it's the latter. I don't think, Ruby, we're in a desperate state right now. Like I'm saying, like just in law enforcement. I don't know how many people truly have passion. And I think some decisions, transfers, behaviors, the reports, all of it sort of points back at that. So if I'm gonna be truthful, it sounded to me like exactly that. Is that, hey, this is a sinking ship. I don't really want to do that level of leadership anymore. I'm going to go to Blaine County Sheriff's Office. I am not happy with us even accepting that as an option. And, but, I'm looking at things a little bit differently. You know what I mean? LSPD cannot be too many holes in LSPD ain't good for either department. So.
Well, there already is.
I know. That only makes it worse.
And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Ruby, she hasn't filled the holes. Well, the problem is the holes were already there.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't create all of these issues in 5 days. The issues were already there.
That's very fucking annoying to me that you didn't know.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 3 people from shift 1. So that's Peters, Miller.
No,
Miller's
Peters
is
is
a different
getting denied.
situation.
And based on this conversation, King will be denied as well. I'm gonna put my foot down on that.
I need to speak to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
I need to find out the why, because obviously Maxwell doesn't know. Trig is MIA, and obviously Peters has no clue what the hell's going on at all.
No, he's zooted 90% of the time, but we got Jimbo, so it kind of balances out, I think.
Ay, caramba. Okay.
I do promise you that, like I said, hopefully someone else comes to you with this, which I'm going to be honest. I hope someone else comes to you and brings this up. I'm going to make a bit of a fuss about it if it doesn't. But as it stands right now, King will not be transferring, because we need to be professional in high command. And that means presenting this kind of shit to our fellow high command members before executive decisions are made. Don't really give a fuck about people's feelings. This is an administrative issue. You know what I mean?
I am meeting him tomorrow. So tomorrow before the meeting.
Yeah.
On one hand, I want to react as if I don't know and see what he says. I don't think he understands and maybe this is the reason why it's too much for him, but the amount of people that I have spoken to. I went into shift 3 late at night. I woke up early and went into shift 3 because he touches shift 3 and shift 1. And the amount of people that have said that they would prefer to see him as their captain is incredible.
God damn it.
But if he is tired and burnt out and there is something else going on, I have to respect that.
Put it squarely, if King, the way that he approached, it's been like a thought, right? But for me, it's less about King and more about these sort of things should be communicated, or like just as much as like if you knew someone from my department, my shift or other shift is like on the fence, like I'd like to know about that only so I can plan, right? Obviously, we nobody wants anyone to leave because of things like this, but it doesn't change the fact that it makes it an administrative nightmare. But
no one wants to find out secondhand that a lieutenant, the head of a whole shift, wants to wants to go to another department, and I have no clue about it.
Oh. Well,
Okay.
PD calms, you know what I mean? Listen, I may be a yapper. It may seem like I stir, but I try to, at least I'm trying to do, I want to do we need communication up, you know what I mean? Even if it's over communication. It's just, oh, God damn it. All right. Okay. Well,
okay. Well, this has been a conversation and a half.
Yeah, I was not expecting that third. God damn it. Do you want me to bring this up with anybody, like in advance? Like, why does Ruby not know? Or you want me to keep my mouth shut for now?
No, I'll speak. I'll speak to King tomorrow.
Okay.
I have a time set. I'll speak with him.
All right.
And see what he has to say.
Okay.
I mean, I literally spoke to him on Monday, and it sounded like everything was fine. I don't know if he was just agreeing.
I think he's been uncertain, right? It doesn't change that my high command did not know that this was a possibility. And that's not going to happen going forward.
I mean, if he's honestly not interested in leading, he's not interested in leading. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right.
What kind of rank was he after?
I think he said sergeant, but I think we are discussing senior.
I mean, sergeant is just command, so it's the same responsibility again.
Yeah, I think we're leaning at senior. I believe that's where the conversation ended. Is we can't, we can't hose the people that have been working over here, and just zip someone in. So.
I wonder, do you know who's been talking with him from BCSO?
No.
Okay.
This is all kind of like new to me, you know? There's been like murmurings, but I don't really take murmuring very serious because people talk about that shit all the time, right? But today it was very real. So,
all right. I'll just deal with it as it comes. That's fine by me.
Yep. Okay. Well, shit. Okay. Well, I will continue to be the bearer of bad news. You know what I mean? But
thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Anytime. All right. You take care now.
Have a good one.
Wait, how does? Oh my God. Poor Ruby, man.